Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. This is my ultimate guide, or my complete guide for multiplayer and joining group flights, that type of thing, in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I often get questions, more recently than ever. How do I join a group flight? Whether you're on Xbox and PC, what settings do you need? What other things do you need? Voice chat and all that good stuff to join group flights. In this video, I'm going to talk about that and show you exactly what you will need, the settings and the prerequisites and all that good stuff in this video. I actually did a recent poll in our Discord asking how do you rate Flight Sim 2024 Multiplayer. To my surprise, the majority of people have said they haven't even tried it yet. I think people are just a little bit lost when it comes to multiplayer. So I'm going to rectify that in this video. And also, I got some interesting comments related to that poll, how people rate multiplayer in 2024. I'll talk about that in the later part of this video. So let's not dilly-dally, let's get on with this video. So I think it's prudent first to talk about how you would get multiplayer active. If you're on PC, you don't need to worry. If you're flying with Microsoft Flight Sim on PC, by default you can play pretty much any multiplayer game free of charge on PC. If you're on Xbox, it's a different matter. Now this will be for people who haven't got Game Pass on Xbox. If you bought Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 outright, you either pre-ordered it or you bought Flight Sim from the store, but you don't have Game Pass, you're not going to be able to join in with multiplayer. This is the Xbox homepage. I'll link it down below. I'm sure you all know where this is. If you're on Xbox, I think this is on your default dashboard from memory. But from here, you would go to join now. And if you're on Xbox, now if you're going through this site, make sure that you click the console. You've got PC and you've got console in the middle here. You're going to need, at the minimum, core here for $10 a month. So online console multiplayer. At the minimum, if you want to play Flight Sim through the Xbox Store Game Pass, rather, if you want to play Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 through Game Pass, you're going to need the standard. Ignore the Ultimate. This is for PC. This is what I've got, but I play it on PC and Xbox. This is how I'm playing Flight Sim at the moment, in fact, with the Ultimate. And remember, I do content creation, so there are benefits for me doing things like this. But for you on console, we're talking about Xbox specifically, if you're playing Flight Sim through Game Pass, you've probably got this already, the standard. If you've got Flight Sim, you bought it outright, so you don't have Game Pass, you're going to need Game Pass Core at a minimum on Xbox so that you can do online console multiplayer. So there you go. Once again, I'll link this page. And if you're going through this page, just click on this tab, Join Now. Make sure you've got console selected in the center here. And at the minimum, if you bought Flight Sim 2024 outright, you'll need the core to do online console multiplayer. Okay, let's go now to some in-sim settings. Okay, so in Flight Sim itself, and this will go for Xbox and PC, there's some essential settings you need to set. You need to go to the settings tab, or the settings cog up here, top right. And in general settings, so this will be your first page you'll see, go to online, and you want things like multiplayer ticked. I'll show you later. We set a server. This is how you change the server. This is a question that's often asked. So general settings, online, multiplayer server. You can select between different servers. West Europe, for example. Show multiplayer aircraft in close proximity. This is optional, but if you get a plane flying close to you, if you don't want it showing, it will prevent it from being, as you can see on the right there, it will prevent the aircraft from being shown in close proximity. I keep it ticked because I want to see all aircraft, and it's advised really you keep that one ticked. So you're with me so far. Make sure multiplayer is ticked. Your server, when we say I'm going to be on West Europe or North Europe or Southeast Asia or USA server, this is how you change it. General options online, and show aircraft in close proximity. Now, this is an interesting one. You can actually have voice chat directly. You don't have Discord. You just want to fly with a friend or a couple of friends. You can do this directly in the sim, and I'm going to show you this in action in a moment. Enable voice chat. Make sure that's enabled. Select your voice output, so you want to be able to hear. Both of these will be on this option, system's default device. You want to change it to your speakers. So if you're playing from a TV on your Xbox, just make sure your output chat device, so you can hear others, is selected to your TV. For me, it's my speakers. For my input device, it's my microphone, my Realtek audio microphone. I'm selecting that. And I believe that's it on this page. So online, once again, the options you want. Settings. Go back completely, because I know we've got a lot of new people watching this. So your settings cog. Click on that. On this page, settings general, you want to go to online. Make sure you've got multiplayer ticked. Change it to the server that people are flying on. Make sure you're all flying on the same multiplayer server. And show multiplayer aircraft in close proximity. That's optional, but it's advised to leave that ticked. And the last thing you want to do, you can enable voice chat and enable text chat as well. I want to show you this working as well. You would go to change it to your voice output, your TV or speakers. Make sure that's selected. And I did have to change that to hear somebody. And change it to your input device, your microphone. And we'll save that and back. And we've got lovely Bob. If you go to your friends list, you do need to add friends for this as well. So I've got a good variety of friends there. But Bob is helping me with this part. What you would do under your friends list, make sure they're online. Click on them and add invite to group. So this is talking directly in the sim. Invite to group. And if we go to current group, hopefully Bob will come in a moment. Come on, Bob, don't let me down now. I just said to him, I'm just going to explain something. I'll just be a minute. So hopefully any second now. Bob, come on, my friend. Appear in group. He's got to accept that. Maybe he's just walked away to get a drink. There we go. Bob, can you still hear me? Now, he's got his microphone. There we go. Can you hear me, Bob? There you go.
Yeah, I can hear.
So there you go. So that's how you would enable voice chat in the sim. So go through those settings I showed you before. And once you have that, go to your friends list. Make sure they're online. And make sure you've added them as a friend. So to add a friend, just go to add friends. Search for their name tag. Ask them what their name tag is in sim. Search for that. They'll get a request. And once they've accepted that, you can click on them. Add to group. It's not showing now because me and Bob are in a group. And current flight. What we're going to do, Bob, if you've got a few more minutes, we're going to load into a flight. I want to show you something else you can do there with these settings.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we're in the sim now, and we're at Manchester Airport, my new home base. And you can see that Bob's just behind me there, I'm just in front. And can you see that on the right? You can see us both there. Now, what you want to do in sim, if you're using the in-sim voice chat... Actually, we'll just come a bit forward, because we're going to obscure each other. Just a moment. Oh, that's better. Thanks, Bob. So what you can do in sim... If you go to the top menu here, this will be for Xbox and PC. Go to this top menu, you've got a chat icon by default. It's this icon here. If you click on that, and I believe it will be, by default, it should be something like this. Your intercom where, you know, the ATC has cleared you for takeoff. On the right, you should see a group chat icon. So this is if you got it enabled. It's got a bit bunched up for me now. That's a bit strange. But you could actually text if you don't have voice chat. I could just type here. We're taking off soon. I said hi Bob before. He said hello Hodison. We're not taking off soon. I'm just like typing this in just as an example there. But as you can see, if you don't have voice chat, you can text chat to each other as long as you've added a friend and as long as you've added that friend in a group. And if you're both on the same server, you'll be able to see each other. There's Bob, there's me. And if there were other people here, we'll be able to see them as well. So that's an option. You can actually do this straight from sim as long as you've got all those other settings enabled. Oh, by the way, just before I go there, hi Bob.
Hello.
We can still hear each other, so we've got voice chat enabled, and we've got text chat enabled as well. There we go, high five. So, we've got both kinds of chat enabled, isn't that brilliant? And I've not tested it on a mass multiplayer flight, that would be interesting to do, but for a small group of you, that's an option. And because this is a complete guide, there's a couple more settings in sim you need to be aware of. If you're going for a group flight, typically it'll be on the free flight, and then you'll be setting your destination, departure airport and your destination or flight plan or goodness knows what from the free flight in your aircraft. But on Xbox and PC you want to go to flight conditions. Should be up here in the top right. Flight conditions. So again, this will be, just so you're following, you go to free flight, you select your flight plan if you got one set up, or you set up a flight plan, or you select your departure airport, go to flight conditions, and weather and time, I found it makes no difference now, so I can see people even if I've not got live weather, I've got a preset on. I've got air traffic, AI traffic turned off. And if you're going on a group flight, that is recommended. For multiplayer, I've got it selected to all players. That gives me the best results in multiplayer for Flight Sim 2024 I've found. You've got three options, live, off or all players. You at least want it on all players and this is the recommended setting. So make sure, just go back again just to be complete. So from the main menu, you go to free flight, you select your aircraft, you select your departure airport or flight plan, flight conditions, and just the important one here is to select multiplayer all players. Now there's another setting you need to be aware of in the sim itself, and that's the name tag setting. As you can see a couple of people out there in the distance as we're flying past them. And I've actually got a button to toggle those name tags so I can turn them off or on. You just got to be aware. Let me just make sure what my aircraft is doing here. That's better. Let's go back towards them. Got to be aware that sometimes it may be turned off for you by default. So if you're not seeing name tags still, there's a couple of settings that you need to be aware of. If we go to settings, you can do this from the main menu from your settings cog. And under general settings, go to flight interface. So general settings, flight interface. And you want to have this option enabled, show traffic nameplates. If that's turned off, just to show you, go back. You're not going to be able to see anybody. So in a group flight, or just flying around generally, you're not going to be able to see people. You need to have that turned on. By default, it should be turned on, but it may be turned off for whatever reason. So general settings, flight interface, show name tags. And if we resume, hopefully these people are going to reappear for us. Now that would be Murphy's Law if for some reason the sim... Ah, there we are. I was going to say, that would be typical if the sim chose not to show them. There you go, name tags on. You can also just be aware, you may have inadvertently toggled name tags so you're not seeing anybody around. Again, go to settings, this time settings, settings cog, or settings here, controls, and I've got a button set up on my Moser throttle for toggle name tags. If you don't have one set up, go to the search box here and type in toggle name. Just toggle name is fine. I've got a button set up. It's one of the buttons on my Moser throttle quadrant. So maybe just type in toggle name and set a button for toggle nameplates. Whatever button you want. So we'll go back and resume. And if I press that button, if for whatever reason you're not seeing people, maybe toggle that button. I've turned them off now. I'll turn them back on. And turn them on. And hopefully that's coming across from you. You should be able to see that person at least. That person, it's against the clouds, so difficult to see. But then you should be able to see other name tags and other people around you. So continuing with this complete guide. Now this is our Discord, and I'm going to link our Discord down below in the description. Typically, with myself, with SimHanger, with other big group flights I've seen, they typically all talk through voice chat in Discord. So if we're all talking together, say there's 20 of us or 10, I don't know, whatever number join our flights, we're all going to be generally chatting through Discord. It's just a better way of us all chatting together. You can get Discord on PC, on Xbox, I know you can get it there, on mobile phone even. I would recommend, if you're going to chat though, use a proper microphone, otherwise it just comes through all messy. People have tried it on mobile phones in the past and it's not been very successful. So either on your Xbox or PC, once you've got Discord installed, you've joined it. You've joined, for example, you want to come on one of my group flights. This is the server, Huddison's Flight Sim Club. So that's the whole server. These are the channels on the left hand side. In fact, I did a video, if you go to read first house rules, I did a video, a Discord tutorial video guiding you through this specific Discord. But I'll go through a few things quickly again. You've got things like general chat where we'll all chat together. You can share pictures. You've got Flight Sim 2024 chatter where we're talking about Flight Sim 2024 things. Missions chat. Questions in Flight Sim 2024. So these are all different channels you can scroll through. So it's like a mini forum. We've got, this is growing and growing, this one. But a mini forum we've got there in our Discord. You know, pet pictures, people are sharing pictures of their pets. And all different things. But if you scroll down the channel list, you will get to community flights. And this is an important one. If we click on upcoming live stream flights, you can see there, that's my most recent one in fact. But you can see there just above, I've put when we do a major group flight, I'll put the information there. I'll put the flight plan in there so you can download that or convert it to Xbox. And I'll tell people, like I showed you before, what server we'll be flying on. What time of day, what weather. And you can see there, so you'll usually get a notification because I'll say at everyone, and you get a little red notification coming up against certain channels. So if I'm posting information about an upcoming live stream, this is where it will be. And this is static. People can put thumbs up or goodness knows what, or leave a kind of emoji face, as you can see there. But it's static, so I don't let people chat freely in this channel because I want to leave the information up so people can see it whenever you log in. So it'll give you all the information there and your server and goodness knows what. And then if you scroll down a little bit more on these channels lists, so this, I've scrolled down to get to upcoming live streams to see what it's about. Scroll down a little bit more, you've got voice chat, and Bob's in there for me already. He's in voice chat. And you've got a second one there, Group Flight Comms 1. This is one typically we'll use for flying in large group flights. And anybody's free to come and join and do a flight, and people can join you. You can do that when we're not doing a group flight. You're free to do that. But before we join that voice chat, there's an important step you need to do on Discord. You need to go bottom left. You can see your name. That's my name. This cog icon, it's user settings. So nice and slow, just in case you've just joined Discord or you're thinking of joining it. Go to the user settings. You get to this page, your account. It'll be called my account. On this page, you go to voice and video. I'm going to do that again, people, because I want to be slow for people, new people. Bottom left. User settings. On this page, go to voice and video. So just go down to voice and video. And this should be for Xbox and PC. You want to make sure under input, so under voice, this will be on this page, voice by default. You've got your input device. I've only got one microphone selected or inputted into my PC. So I've got my Realtek audio selected there. Output device, that's going to be, for me, it's my speakers. For you, it could be your TV. Be careful on that one, because sometimes, for me, it will switch to my VR headset and I can't hear people. So I have to come into here from this page. User settings, voice and video. And make sure I've got my output device selected. Test it. Make sure you've got your volume set. If you're using a microphone, set your volume output maybe to near 100% like I've got. Input rather, and output to 100% as well. And I can test it. Let's check. Click on this, let's check. Testing. I can hear myself. I can see this moving, so I know my microphone is working. And I can hear myself, which is very weird. So I'm going to stop testing there. That's how you would test it. So I know that's all set up. On a group flight, just be aware, I've got my voice activity open. It's an open mic. So whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm saying, everybody can hear me. I'm in a quiet room. Because I host group flights, I keep my voice chat open. And it's advised, because you may have a noisy background, go to push to talk here and set up a button on your controller or keyboard. I'll select this, edit keybind, and I'll select a button on my flight controller. I've got a big red button on my XPC yoke, which is perfect, which is gamepad free. So edit keybind and select the button. So when you want to talk, no, that won't do it. When you want to talk, you would have to push to talk. I want to show you this in action, in fact. So I'll keep it on push to talk for now, and I'll come back and change it in a moment. For me, in fact, no, I'll keep it there, because this is the settings I advise people, and we all advise people to set. Push to talk and select a button. So when you want to talk, you've got to hold that button down. Bob's in voice chat, so to join a voice chat, just click on one of the voice chats. So this is my server. It might be different for other servers. Scroll down the list of channels, get to a voice chat, see where everybody else is. Hello, Bob. Now, he can't hear me because I've not got my
Hello.
push to... Oh, can you hear me, Bob? No, he can't. So I'm going to have to press my button down for push to talk. Hi, Bob. I've selected a push to talk button. That's why you couldn't hear me, but now I've got it down. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So there you go. So without selecting that push to talk, he can't hear me. I've got to hold it down for Bob to hear me. So thanks very much, Bob. I just want to show people a couple more things, Bob. Just a moment.
That's fine.
So down here, bottom left, you've got turn off microphone and deafen. Just be aware, people, on Discord, because this has happened to other people. You might have your microphone turned off. So even if I push to talk, Bob can't hear me. Look, you are currently muted. It will tell me in the bottom left there. I've got to have that enabled so that Bob can hear me fine. And
Hello.
you've also got a deafen. So if Bob talks now, if you click on deafen, I can't hear Bob. And it will also turn off your microphone if you have that. Just be aware of those settings. Make sure they're both enabled. And again, to talk, I'm going to have to push down my button. One last time, Bob. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
So there you go. That's how you would do it. Now, let me just tell Bob that's everything. Thanks, Bob. That's perfect. Thanks very much.
No problem.
So there you go. To disconnect, you've got a little icon. Disconnect from voice chat. This catches people out too. You've got an icon here called disconnect. Left click on that. I'm disconnected from the voice chat. That's all there is to it, people. It's not complicated. On a group flight, you'll see a number of people in here. Just go to the settings icon. Make sure you've got everything set up on the voice and video, your input device, output device, and you should be golden. So just as the last thing, I'm going to go back to the poll that I ran. I asked people how do they rate Flight Sim 2024 multiplayer functionality. As you can see, like I showed you in the intro, the majority of people said they haven't tried it in that poll. And I wonder if I ran a bigger poll on YouTube, whether that would be the same. They actually turn out to be similar when I run Discord polls and YouTube polls. You get this similar kind of percentages. So the majority of people say they haven't tried it, and that might be for good reason, which we'll discuss in a moment. And other people, the other majority of people, or the next majority of people, shall we say, said that they find it really good, and that includes me as well. As few people said that they don't find it very good. So there we go, that was the poll. So let's just take that off screen, because I want to share some comments that people left to supplement their selected poll, their choice on the poll. First one's from Moose Van Neil. Regarding the multiplayer poll, model matching is horrendous. Absolutely, it is horrendous. Okay, I understand that if I don't own a certain aircraft, a certain plane, I'm not going to be able to see other pilots in the same plane. However, if they're in a vintage Warbird and I'm seeing them as a generic A330 airliner, then something is seriously amiss. I know this was also an issue in 2020, but not to this extent. Your promises before 2024 dropped that they had increased the amount of generic models in order to make model matching somewhat better in 2020. Do you mean 2024 there? Better than in 2020. However, I'm still only seeing 3 generic models. Airliner that looks like a dodgy A330, a Bonanza-ish looking G8 plane, and a generic single turbo prop that looks like a cross between a TBM 930 and a PC-12. They haven't even added a generic helicopter, so if we don't own the helicopter in question, we only see floating planes. Just to stop on that one, I do agree with that point, Neil, and yeah, the model matching is pretty terrible. We did a Spitfire aircraft flight recently, and other Spitfires were showing up as Bonanzas to me. From what we were promised, it's not there, is it? Neil continues there. From a stability point of view, I actually think that multiplayer is a bit better in 2024. I do a lot of large group flights, and I've noticed that other people don't randomly disappear as they did in 2020. I have to agree on that. I'm finding 2024 far more stable in terms of multiplayer flights than 2020. In Sim Update 1, they also increased the radius more in line with 2020 now, at which nameplates appear. So that was a good move, absolutely. However, we're still limited by only being able to see a max of 25 other people, or whatever that magic number is. I was really hoping that this would be addressed in 2024, but it seems to have the same limitation. Absolutely agree there, Neil. It's great they increased the radius, but we still seem to be seeing only a handful often of people in group flights. I must say that I'm seeing the majority of the people on group flights, but I don't do massive group flights, maybe 30 people max. Wonderful comments. Thanks very much, Neil. And just to continue there, Danlance left an excellent comment as well there. I'll pop it on screen. I mostly agree with everything Neil has said, with some specific exclusions regarding multiplayer stability. Some people, personally aware of two of them, Chunzi and Superstorm 007, have since the release of 2024 had random issues with being able to see other people in multiplayer, other players in multiplayer, or only seeing static representation of where players were at the time they loaded in, or only seeing players when they leave their aircraft and not being able to see the aircraft itself. For the players who experience this, multiple factors have been investigated, including ISP, router, network card, drivers, graphic issues, swapping servers, reloading the sim, rebooting the PC, etc. The issue seems to be device specific and limited to a small but still significant proportion of the player base, and there seems to be little rhyme or reason as to the cause. And Danlance continues there. Changing graphic settings sometimes seems to temporarily resolve it, but then the issue can come back again a few loads later. When it's working, a few loads later, when it's working, it seems to work well, but often it can take several loads to get it to work, and sometimes doesn't work at all. Understandably, this incentivizes, generally puts people off even loading up the sim on many occasions to fly in multiplayer, in the knowledge that there is a significant chance that it may be necessary to spend over an hour faffing around being able to get in a flight together. And even then, there's no guarantees. Fantastic comment at the end there. I can imagine, I mean, I've not had it, but in multiplayer, if I'm not seeing other people around me in that multiplayer flight, and then I've got to faff around for ages trying to get to see people, it can put people off altogether, and I do wonder if that is the major issue. Thanks very much, Danlance. What do you think, people? How do you rate Flight Sim 2024 multiplayer functionality? Let us know down in the comments. Generally, I hope this video is going to be of help to a number of you to get into group flying and multiplayer flights in 2024. Flight Sim 2024. It's a pretty complete guide. And yep, I'm going to make this static on one of our Discord channels, probably in the welcome chat, just so that people can set up their Xbox or PC to fly in multiplayer flights. Do let me know your thoughts, give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon.